Microphone.
All right.
All righty, here we go. So, good evening or afternoon. I guess I need to start it out as hello because this could be in the morning and afternoon. We have no idea. But anyway, my name is Ronnie Evans. They call me the connector. And what I do is connect people that have needs to people that can provide services for their needs. And so I'm excited about my first guest. So I want to introduce her, and she is a coach. Has nothing to do with the coach being my first guest. Like I need one. I know people's like, yeah, he's got a coach. Yeah, okay. But anyway, it just worked that way. But anyway, uh, uh, I would like to introduce. Now I've got a question before we get started because the people that we're not just in the U.S. I'm in the U.S. She's over the land. She's in England. Now I know people starting out going, wait a minute, how did you find somebody over there? Hey, internet's great, connection. It's all about the connections. So Sarah-Jayne is her name. Now my question is this: are you from South England? Because that's a Southern name. I don't care how you. How did you get the name? That's the first thing I want to find out before we get into the interview. Because I'm from the South. I'm from North Carolina and all that. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not I say an England name, but I don't know any people from England, so I don't know what their names are. But I just think it's so cool. But anyway, how did you get that name?
So I am from the south of England.
About there you go. See, people, I know something. That's all it is. Okay.
I'm not far. I'm about an hour from London, the capital city. I live in the countryside. My name it's a generic English name. It's not a north or south name. It comes from my parents, who apparently Sarah means a gift from God. So I'm going to claim that I am a gift from God from the south of England. Here I am.
See, people, for the record, you know, says you put God in South. I'm just saying. So as we go further, it's a connection. The South is connection of God. I'm just telling you, But anyway, but no, I just wanted to say that because that was the first thing I was like, I've got to ask her about that because that is so cool. So that's an average, a standard name or so. And
yeah.
Okay, well, cool. All right, well, enough about names. So anyway, now you are a coach. Now, what type of coach are you?
Okay, so I am a holistic life coach. My belief is that to transform our lives, you must transform your mind. So a lot of my practice, a lot of my work is around mindset and how the brain works, and that just by taking small steps and simple changes, it twists our habits and behaviors into healthy ones, and we can let go of those that no longer serve us. So I'm a holistic life coach. We take life as a whole, but we change our mindset to have that impact on our life.
That is so cool. That is so cool. Now, here's the good part. Now, I want to ask a couple of questions because I'm like, I have a thing and I hear it all the time. People say, you do business and support people you know, trust, and like, and that's great.
Yeah.
I like to get to know people, and I know business is business, but I want to know you. So I got a couple of questions I'd like to ask, and you answer them. Honestly, we don't judge around here. I mean, look at me. That's why first thing I say, don't judge. It's what I got to work with. So the first question is, or let me put it this way: would you rather listen to music, read a good book, or watch a good movie?
Now, this is good, and I've taken time to really think about this because I am a lover and a passionate person for everything. My mood has a big part to play in what I decide. But actually, I choose music.
Wait a minute. Your mood may change?
My mood, depending on how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling a little bit lazy, I love a good movie.
Wow. So this is a first because a female has different moods. Wow, this is good. Yeah. Now, I grew up with 4 sisters, so I know how that happened. But anyway, go ahead. I apologize.
We just hit the headlines. Watch this space, Ronnie. We've hit the headlines. So I was thinking about it, and I choose music. And I think a lot of it comes down to, because when I'm tired, your eyes are hurting. Actually, you can just close your eyes and you can have any mood playing in your ears or on your phone. But then if you're in a really hyper mood, and this is where I spend most of my time, really energetic, you can put any tune on, you can have a little dance, you don't have to stay in one space. So music is my choice on that question.
Wow. And I love it because actually mine's music too, because growing up, I used to always, before I'd go to bed, there was a band I loved called Tramp. And actually they're from the UK. So anyway, so it was unbelievable, the rock band, but they had a song called basically Lost in the Music. And basically the whole thing, you could just put it on and let the music, there's the power basically of just relaxing and getting lost, and just, you could just go where you want to go, forget the world and everything. And man, so often with what's going on in the world, I still find myself doing that. I'll flip on the music and it's like, okay, now I can relax. So that was a good answer. I love that.
Yeah, and I think a song, and I'm not saying that a book doesn't do this or a movie doesn't take you to a certain time in your life or a certain place, like it definitely gets your imagination going. But I think with music, ironically, I was clearing out and I had all the CDs and it kind of tells you a story of my life, like the type of music and who I thought I was growing up, clearly confused.
Oh yeah. Music changes as we change. And going back, I mean, I'm 53. So going back when I was younger, I'm like, how did I listen to that? I don't even understand what they're saying now, but I could probably say the lyrics of everything going on. So yeah, it's wild how music can change with you. So that is cool. Well, next question. Now this, I don't know how it's going to work because like I said, I don't know if y'all have beaches or mountains over there or what, because I've never been to the UK or anything. Matter of fact, and I will, and I say this because when we first met and you said you're from the UK, I was thinking University of Kentucky. I mean, I didn't know. I was like, then when I heard you talk, I'm like, no, that's not there. So anyway, but the next question is, do you like the beach or the mountains? Which do you?
Okay.
Do y'all have mountains and beaches over there? I don't know. I mean,
we have mountains and beaches, but not mountains and beaches as maybe you do over in the States. We call it the seaside. It's very much about piers and little rides, just pebbles. So we do definitely have a coast. We're an island as well, so we're surrounded by coastline. And we do have mountains, but they're not as high as, say, the Alps that are in mainland Europe, but we maybe just large hills. Can we call it that? So out of the two, I've got stories for both, but I'm going to say mountains. And I say mountains because I love the journey that it takes you to and the view that you get at the end. It takes hard work. You question why you're putting your body through some of these treks. I'm a big walker. I love trekking. I will sit there and ask myself, why am I putting my body through this? But the view at the top is always worthwhile. And yeah, you also can get lakes in the mountains, so you're near the water. It changes every season. Yeah, mountains. I'm going to go mountains, even though there's a big part of me that's saying
that is so cool. No, I like that. And I like what you described about the mountains, because that's sort of like, I mean, don't need to tie this back into business, but it's the same thing. It's a challenge. We go through things and you wonder why you're doing it. But man, I remember going hiking and getting to the top of a mountain and just looking at the beauty and saying, man, you can't see this beauty and experience this down there. And you can't describe it to somebody until you get up there and see it yourself. So you're exactly right. That is so true.
And just to go above, when it's a little bit cloudy and you're above the clouds, it's such a bizarre notion, concept. The clouds are below you, yet it's like there's a whole world that you're a part of. And yeah, they're very, very magical. And I've been very fortunate to see beautiful mountain ranges, and just the feeling it gives you that, yeah, the journey's hard. If we relate it back to business, everything, you don't want an easy journey. You want it to challenge you. because you know at the end the rewards are worthwhile and you reap the benefits if you put in that time and effort. And yeah, mountains is my answer, and I could go on for hours. Just, yeah, I'm lost in the mountains already, as you mentioned it.
Well, cool. That is awesome. So far we like mountain music. No, I'm just
Yeah.
with it again. So that's awesome. I the last question, and this is sort of something that I catch myself asking myself that, and I'll explain it afterwards. But if the world would come to an end tomorrow, what would you do today?
Yeah. So again, I've been thinking about this, and I'm going to just tell you upright what I wrote on a piece of paper. The first thing that came up. Okay, you ready? I would tell everyone, thank you for an epic life journey. I would then go to the cliff edge, jump into the ocean, and laugh my way through the day. That's what I first wrote down.
Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. No, I love that. That is awesome. So, and what the reason I say that to me a lot is to make me realize, we're not guaranteed tomorrow.
No.
And why are we wasting today? And growing up, mom used to sort of ask questions that way, and my dad would say it a different way, but the same question. And so wasting time and stuff. And I feel like that ties in with our business so much, because so often when we finish, that's why I love journaling. I've had people tell me start journaling and stuff, because you can go back to see what you do. If I don't write it down, I won't remember. And so if I don't journal, I don't remember what I did yesterday. And guess what? I'd repeat the same thing the next day. If I wrote it down, I'd probably learn from it. So that's why I love journaling and stuff. And but exactly what you just described is exactly what would we do, and go back to thanking people. And we should be doing that at the beginning anyway. But so often we wait till I'm not coming back, so now I'll thank you. And and I love about just the jumping into the ocean, and just the water just it's so cool how that relief, and really that's what tomorrow should bring. So what we do today, tomorrow should bring that relief
Yeah.
based on what we do. But so often we do things and then trouble's coming, and then when we stop and look at it, like my mom always said, whenever you're pointing your finger, you got three pointing back at you, So it's almost like you could be the problem. So change what you're doing. But no, that is so cool.
Yeah, I think when I wrote it, I was like, oh my goodness, you can't be saying this now. People will wonder what you're on and who you are. Sarah-Jayne from the south of England, who does she think she is? But I think, especially with my coaching journey, I started the official coaching journey just over a year ago, and it's had such a big impact on how I see myself and the world around me. And I've always been quite a curious person. I've always wanted to know what's around the corner, and if I put myself in this situation, what will the outcome be? But I think for me, I've learned to love myself so much and be so grateful for every single person I cross paths with, that now it's like that feeling of just jumping into the water and just being like, how epic that if my life did end, say the world did end tomorrow, that I can look back and go, I've had a great life. And I put myself in that situation. When you go into that hysterical laughter of, as if we're that fortunate as human beings to literally have control over how our day goes each morning we wake up.
That is so cool. And it goes back to what you do, the mind coach. And so often everybody is your mind controls so much that we don't give it credit for. And usually when you don't make a decision, your mind made that decision not to make a decision. So it's almost like it is there regardless working, and what you put in. I've always, in the Bible I read about, putting things in and taking things out and stuff. And I've always heard the saying, garbage in, garbage out. Our mind's the same way, people. What we read, what we absorb, our content with people, the way they make us feel. I used to always, I could tell when I'd walk in to call on the account and be the first one, I could tell who they talked to first or before. because they're either happy or mad, and it's usually because the person that just left. I had no idea. I walk in and I'm like, "How are you doing?" And then it's like, "Whoa, let me go back out and start over," because
And it,
that affects you, and people don't realize that is so important the way we come across.
And it is, and I love that. And you know, there's a guy called Tim Galway, and he introduces the two selves, and you just explained it perfectly. And self one is very much that loud voice in our head telling us to push harder, to go harder, but he's also very, very critical. And then we have self two, which is our authentic self, but it gets affected so much by the self one. The challenge is now to quieten self one, to allow our true self to feel like we're jumping off that cliff into the water every day. And it's such an interesting journey when we start quietening self one, and we do this by trusting ourselves, going inwards, whether that's a spiritual journey, whether that's journaling, and protecting our energy. You know, you said there that when you walk into a room, you can sense who's spoken to who, but as humans, we do. The world is on vibrations, right? So if you're uptight, the effect you have on everyone around you is huge. So if you walk in positive, if you're there long enough, then you will shift people's moods. But they always say positivity is hard work, and that's why it's easy to be negative. So, you know, big up the self too, and trust in yourself, and allow that inner person to come out, and don't worry about what other people think. Easier said than done though, Ronnie, I have to say.
Well, yeah, but that's why you need a coach. That's why you need help. If you could do it on your own, you'd have done did it. I don't know if that's the proper English words or what, but that's just the way we look at it. If you'd already did it, you'd have done did it, but people don't. And then we come up with excuses why we didn't. I'm just telling you all the United States, all of our world excuses for putting things off. But the crazy thing about it, and I know you find this, and I find it, it's harder to quiet somebody that's loud. And that person is so loud that I feel like that's when we as individuals I can handle it myself, and it never happens because we figure, all right, well, he's gonna holler anyway, we'll just let it go. But if you get somebody from the other side coming in, there's techniques and stuff that can help calm the voice down so we can change the attitude and stuff. And
definitely. And I think, and I know that this is why we've connected. We agree or can take very similar perspectives in how we believe that asking for help and connecting with people is a positive thing. And I think there's a movement happening that we're starting to realize that it doesn't make you a weak person or a lesser person to go, do you know what? I haven't got a clue where to even start. But I can't wait for the day that we all walk around and we're like, do you know what? Yeah, I've got a whole support network of coaches. Oh, and I'm a coach myself, because ironically, I had a client that came and went, do I even need a coach? Like, what's the point in it? And like, the thing is, if we all learn how to communicate openly and honestly and learn how to truly listen to each other, I'd be out of a job. Counselors, therapists wouldn't have jobs because we would be able to communicate and respond and allow people to have their own feelings. We live in a world where it's terrifying to go, do you know what you've just said has hurt my feelings, but let's talk it out like adults, or not even like adults, because I think kids are epic at having honest conversations, but it's that we're so scared to tell people if they've hurt our feelings, or that, do you know what, I don't know how to complete this task at work, but I'm going to keep it in and I'm going to stress myself out so that then I'm ill because I'm so scared to go, can someone help me? Can someone just guide me and teach me that skill? Well,
and it's funny because over here, you see, Tiger Woods, he's got a coach. You take anybody that's professional that has exceeded where they're at, they've had a coach. And it's not that they're weak, or let's say this, it is that they're weak in certain things, but they're strong enough to know I'm weak in here, I'm strong here. And stay where you're strong and get the help where you need it weak. And that's what we're doing now with this new group that I'm starting. It's not a network group, it's a needs group. The whole purpose is to admit we have a need. I work with so many business owners that love to do one thing. And unfortunately, they're spending time wearing another hat and they got 10 hats on trying to do other things. And really, not one of them is why they started the job that they started. So they're not doing what they love to do. So I'm like, hey, stop. Let's do this. Find where your weakness is or what you need help with. Let's find people that can help you. And eventually everybody does what they're good at. And boy, I think this world will be a lot better place, at least the people that hang around me, because that's all I'm for. If you're gonna hang around me, I want you to think straight and be happy. So let's make that happen. So
Yeah. And embrace the bits that you love, right? I know I'm talking from my business side. Don't get me wrong, I think there's power in learning some of the skills yourself, but it's to learn those skills, you have to have the people that already have those skills. So whether it's that, get tips from them. You don't have to go and spend thousands upon thousands within a week of meeting someone, but actually get talking to them, because the amount of information we all share just in a conversation is mad. And then once you've learned the lingo a little bit, that's what I found. I just learn a little bit of the terminology, and then you'll know when it's the right time to go, okay, I've done the groundwork. Now I need someone to really tighten it up, neaten it so that I can just push it to the maximum. And that's where the professionals and the connections that you make will really come into their own. And suddenly you have this amazing team where you're all doing what you love and what you're good at, all supporting each other in different routes. And the beauty.
And that is so true. And that's cool because, like I said, I tell people, you can't teach what you don't know. And you can't know something until you learn it. And we're trying to teach stuff we don't know because we don't want to take time to be taught something and to learn something. So we sort of take the easy way out. In the meantime, those are gaps that are links that we're taking out. It's just making our chain a lot weaker. And it's like, don't take stuff out, just make it stronger and go with it. But anyway, so now that we took so much time about everything but your business, how do they get in touch with you to learn more? Because I want them to be able to get to know you, to let them know you're real and you're not going to bite them and kill them and shoot them, hit them over the head and stuff. Because so many times I wonder, why don't you call people? You're scared. I'm like, what do you think they're going to do? Torture you if you don't? I don't know. So this way they get to know you. And how do they get in touch with you? And that kind of.
So firstly, I want to tell everyone I am real, and I promise you I am kind, and I will never bite you or be mean to you. I promise you. But to get in contact, and I'm all about, let's just connect. Let's just have a conversation, because you never know where it's going to lead you. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, my website. Just, reach out. I've got WhatsApp, but I also know that there's a big difference in terms of, I don't know how easy that contact is if you're based in America and I'm in England, but hopefully all this technology will bring us all together, and let's just connect and make powerful climbs up that mountain for the perfect view. That's what I say.
That is so cool. So well, thanks for the coming on. And I have all your information. Okay, I'll be honest. I've got a guy that's going to put all this information on the videos. See, I even collaborate with other people and say, he's good at that. I'm not good at that. Let's use other people. So I'm preaching I'm doing what I'm preaching, So, but anyway, thanks for your time. And I love what you're doing. And this is so cool. And I love the answers of your, to the questions. And like I said, that's why, I will definitely put you approve, or the Ronnie the Connector approved, because you're real, you love people, you love helping people and stuff. And I appreciate all that. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. And for everybody here that's watching this, get in touch with her. A good Southern name. You can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong with that. Haven't got a story. but you can't go wrong with it. And just thank you, Ronnie, for this opportunity. And yeah, I'm loving the fact that I'm connecting with people across the pond, and it's just the start of all this networking. And bring it on. I am ready to meet and greet anyone who fancies it, who's a little bit curious.
Awesome. Well, again, my name is Ronnie the Connector, and thank y'all for watching what I'm putting together. And pray for me that it continues to do well. And I connect with people that can help me do this. But if you have any questions, you'll see my information. Call me up. However I can help you, connect with me, and we'll see you until the next time. I hope you remember to love one another, and also remember you love me. Talk to you soon.
That's amazing.
Perfect. Okay, I'm still recording, but what I want to do is to go to your 30 or your 60 seconds. But how was that? Now I want you to watch it, critique it, and if we got to redo it and me do something else or whatever. But
yeah, I love that. I think. Do you know what? I'm an interesting one when it comes to talking about myself. But the questions you ask take you outside of your own head, ironically, everything that we're talking about, because as soon as you go into business, like strict business, this is what I do, this is who I am, and this is who I work for, it's like you go onto a script. And don't get me wrong, I've thought about those questions and where the conversation could potentially go, but I just allowed myself to talk, and I really enjoyed that. So thank you very much.
Well, cool. Well, that was the whole thing that I wanted to put together. Keep it simple, those 3 questions, just to sort of take us away from work and then come back in. And what I'm really hoping people do when they get away from the work view, and then when they come back, they'll look at it different than what they're at and realize, man, I do need to get help here. I need to do this, and say, look, what do we need? Because at the end of the day, it goes back to that last question. If the world's come to an end tomorrow, what are you going to do today? But we're too busy trying to figure out what our business is going to. We have no way that we're contacting people, and that right there, we're affecting people. So it's like, why not affect them positive instead of negative? So now, and I don't even know how this will work, because I didn't want to be in the view. So I'm going to try to put it on the speaker, so that way when you do your 30 seconds, he might be able
to. Oh my goodness!
Do that.
This is where I start getting a little bit like, here I am, guys.
And that way you could just do your 30-second or 60-second elevator speech, and we'll let Phil do what he does to make it look good. So,
okay, let's see what happens.
All right, ready? I'm gonna count down, I guess. I don't know.
Timer, so I know my end whether there's 60 seconds. Hang on, let's do this.
You got a timer?
I've got a timer. Okay.
All right, it's all on you.
Okay, are you switching your screens? Oh no, it's me that of course you haven't got control over my screen. Ignore me.
Yeah, I've got it. Well, you're the big picture and I'm the little one.
Hi everyone, I am Sarah-Jayne Juniper, and I am a holistic life coach. I believe that to transform your life, you must transform your mind. And we do this by taking a holistic approach of everything that makes up your current reality, and we break it down to bring awareness. It is one-to-one group coaching and self-exploratory, and it is for anyone who believes that they need to bridge that gap, they need to fill it in, they know something is missing and they can't quite put their finger on it. I'm the one for you.
Perfect, man, and had time to spare. You are a professional. I'm glad I know one. I can tell everybody I know one is a professional. She's not from here. She's from over there.
From here, but you've got a southern name. She's from the south of England.
And I hope I didn't. My wife told me, she said, when you do her interview, let her talk more. She's got a better accent.
Was that pitch okay? Was it clear? I've never done that before.
Oh, it was great. It was great. What I'll do, I will actually send that to you, because what I'll do is I can, before he gets it, I can throw it through YouTube and get a URL, and I can send it to you in a link, and then you can turn around and play it. Use it. You can edit it. Anything that I give you, you can edit. If you need to take me out and put somebody else that talks English in there, so hey, yeah, I want you to ask these questions. Yeah.
Always bring in the different accents, 100%. I think that's That's what it's all about.
So, boy, this was fun. I really enjoyed this. I guess I can stop recording now since
You can stop recording. No, I really, really enjoyed that. And